I would like to welcome all of you to this session about SQL, or pronunciated sometimes as SQL, which is short for Structured Query Language. But before we get into Structured Query Language, let's take back up a little bit and ask ourselves, why SQL? Why do we love SQL? Why do we want to learn SQL? And one of the reasons we want to learn SQL or SQL is because it opens a lot of doors for careers for us. Information is stored within databases, and people want to see that information, and the best way to see it is through SQL. So let's back up a little bit first, and then we'll move forward. Now, let's suppose that we have a small business. Then I could use a spreadsheet or something like an Excel where I can go in and put my monthly budget for that company and all the numbers that we do. And at the end of the month, I'm going in there, making a lot of changes, making a lot of calculations, and maybe create a chart or a graph out of that to do some comparisons. With SQL, a number of things. There's a number of advantages. The first advantage is, well, suppose I no longer have a small business. I've grown into something that's very large, whether it's regardless of the industry. It could be in the medical field, it could be a hospital, it could be a franchise of restaurants, it could be a government agency. Whatever that field is, again, suppose I'm having millions of rows, millions of records that I need to track. Then at that point, SQL, or SQL, or Structured Query Language, allows me to very quickly manipulate that data and query that data and make the changes that I need and report on that data. Let's take another advantage. At the end of the month, to present for my shareholders or the people that are in my group, I want to create a chart. So in this case, I go in and create a bar chart and, just have the numbers on top and something that's fancy. However, at the end of each month, it's going to take me a couple of hours, 3 or 4 hours to go in and always draw that information out for the presentation. And the advantage of SQL is, and all the different pieces that plug into SQL, is that it allows me to automate that process. So I can build my SQL, I can build SQL objects or incorporate SQL within different reporting tools so that it's automated, and at the end of the month, I don't have to do anything but execute, or it's already a scheduled job that I get that information. So through SQL, again, I can get into something very fancy, such as dashboards, such as this, because maybe as an accountant or a person in finance, I might need the numbers as we do in a spreadsheet. But once we get into, presentations and things for shareholders and CEOs, they might be interested on high-level numbers and charts and graphs because it's a lot more intuitive to them. And that is what SQL lends itself to. And the nice thing about SQL is when I learned SQL or SQL, I open up myself to a lot of other positions. Someone that knows SQL would be an excellent person for a position in business intelligence. Someone that knows SQL would be excellent in a report development position, whether it's SSRS or Cognos or Crystal Reports. If you know SQL, then that's what makes you a very good candidate for that position. Also things that have to do with database administration, because a lot of the tools in database administration or DBA work are involved with tables and system tables and metadata. So someone that knows that information is able to have a good understanding of how everything works in the background. Another good piece about SQL is incorporating this. It also allows me to automate a lot of those processes. So the time that is spent by myself and other people in my department to develop this report or this dashboard or that dashboard, now it allows us to automate it. So my manager or the head of the department or the CEO of the company at 5 o'clock in the morning every day gets this in an email, rather than we having to spend manual time or manual labor creating it and massaging the data every so often. It could be automated. So SQL is a very powerful tool. And in our journey together of learning it, we're going to find all those advantages and great benefits that we have from it. And hopefully, if you're taking this course to improve or grow your career, you're going to find all the different opportunities that you're going to have, with your data, that you could relate to the data better if you're already working in a company or in a course, but also that if you're applying for a position, how it's going to open more opportunities for you with the different fields within IT. Good luck for everybody.